Welcome to another session for Prof. Ed 10 Work-Based Learning with emphasis on trainers' methodology. So in this lesson, we're going to learn what is training plan and afterwards how to develop our training plan based from our conducted training needs analysis. So please listen as I present to you this lesson. Before we deploy our trainees to their industry training, a thorough planning based on their training is very important. So this plan shall serve as an agreement between the industry and your training institution. So this will serve as a guide in the implementation of the industry training of the individual trainees. So based on our previous lessons, we have learned that before we deploy our trainees to their respective industries or partners which you have identified. So together with the memorandum of agreement or memorandum of understanding, you shall prepare first a training plan in order to establish what are the learning competencies or learning outcomes that must be learned by our trainees in the conduct of this work-based learning. Here are the learning objectives for this lesson. First one, define a training plan. Differentiate a training plan from session plan. Identify the parts of the training plan and describe how to accomplish each columns of the training plan where you will be developing later on. So what is a training plan? A training plan is a description of how the training will be done, the flow of training from input to end results, including the resources that will be used. So the objective of the training plan is to define the strategies, tasks, and methods that will be used to meet the training requirements. So as a whole, the training plan will serve as our guide on how to conduct the work-based learning as a whole. Okay? Whereas the session plan is a simply stated, clearly written, and flexible trainer aid for conducting a session or module based on the curriculum of the unit of competency. So the session plan, no, although the training plan and session plan offers us a guide or give us a blueprint of our session, but for the session plan, it will only cover a particular session, just like what you have prepared during your individual presentations, which I have required you to prepare a session plan. So the session plan only covers the particular lesson which you will be executing or implementing during a particular time. Whereas a training plan is a plan or a document which will present the whole training process. Okay? So the training plan will outline who will deliver the training and when and where or the venue your apprentice or trainee needs to go to receive the structured component of the training. So later on, we're going to present what are the components which you need to identify in accomplishing or developing your own training plan. What do we need to include in the training plan? First, of course, the competencies to be obtained. Another one is the time frame for achieving these competencies identified, the training to be undertaken, the delivery modes to be employed, who is or who are responsible for the delivery, and also the assessment of each competencies covered, the assessment details and arrangements, the name of the qualification to be issued, and any other specific requirements to be met in accordance with the particular training contract in question. So later on, you need or we need to identify these things which are the components of the training plan. Here is the actual template which you will be using in the training plan development. So as you can see, you need to identify the qualifications, of course. So you have already chosen your qualifications and based from your conducted TNA. So we will be using that one throughout the entire process of this work-based learning. Identify the name of the trainee, trainer, and the nominal duration. So later on, we're going to discuss these things. So here are the specific contents that you need to accomplish and identify. Trainee's training requirement, training activity task, mode of training, the staff, facilities, tools, and equipment, the venue, assessment method, and the schedule, which specifies the date and time. So as you can see, we have here unit of competency. You need also to identify the unit of competency to be followed with the specific learning outcomes, which you have been identified based from your TNA. And of course, after, we need to also include prepared by you as the trainer, approved by the administrator, okay, and confirmed by the owner. So at this time, for the administrator, we'll be using the name for the meantime of our college dean, okay, which is Dr. Patrick Gerard A. Paulino. And the owner, just identify the names of your industry partners during your SIT. So gamitin na lang po natin, no, yung mga responsible persons na na-encounter ninyo during your SIT days. Okay? Anyway, this is for the sake of document preparation. What are the different components of this training plan? Okay? So first one is the trainees training requirements. So ano ba to? So these are the competencies or learning outcomes that the trainees need to learn based on the results of the training needs assessment. So therefore, dapat po ang makikita natin dito, no, when you do your training plan, so ang mag-appear lang po ditong training requirements will be based from the result of your TNA. So in other words, kung ano po yung na-identify nyo sa TNA Form 1.3, which are the training gaps, so sila lang po yung andito sa training requirements. Okay, so I hope that is clear now. Next one is the training activity or task. So these are the activities or tasks that the trainees need to perform in order to learn the competencies or learning outcome which you have identified in the first one, which are the training requirements. So ano ba yung mga kailangan na activities or tasks na ipe-perform ng mga trainees natin para matutunan nila yung gap or the identified training requirements? Okay? So next one is the mode of training. So this refers to the medium used to deliver the training or facilitate the learning. So in this time, that's what I was telling you during our previous sessions. In this mode of training, you need to incorporate now the result of your TNA, which includes the learning style, visual, kinesthetic. So you need to come up with a particular methodology which will address the individual needs of our learners. So considering the andragogy of learning, so we need to identify by this time the mode of training. Okay? So yeah. Okay, so let me continue. So after the mode of the training is the staff. So this refers to the personnel involved in the training. So this could be the trainer, training coordinator, supervisor, etc. So in your case, just incorporate, no, based from your experience, since you have already had your SIT last summer, so you can already, you are familiar with this one. And as much as possible, put a name, no? Please identify the name of the person in the staff. So, sino ba tong andito? So, sila po yung magiging in charge during the conduct of the work-based learning. Okay? Kagaya nung na-experience nyo during your SIT, so of course, you in-endorse tayo, no, doon sa partner industry natin wherein merong naging in charge po doon sa pag-attend natin ng SIT doon sa mga respective partners, restaurants, or hotels kung saan man tayo dineploy. Okay? Next one are the facilities, tools, and equipment. So, these are the resources that would be needed during the conduct of the training program. So, by this time, you will use the TR, the training regulation, or if you have the competency-based curriculum as the reference. Okay, later on, we're going to have a specific discussions on how to accomplish these components. Next one is the venue, of course, the place where the training will be conducted. So usually, this will take place in the respective industries. So please just identify venues which are related with your chosen qualification. Okay, so it could be a simulated workplace or the actual workplace. So it could be industry or company. Okay, so kayo na pong bahala dito isip kung anong venue, no? Kung saang company, basta make sure that it is related with the qualification which have you chosen. So kung sa food related tayo dyan, so of course, mga restaurants or hotels. So kung electronics, so mga electronic shops or companies, service center, and etc. Next one, we have the assessment method. Of course, it's a usual process wherein we need to evaluate whether the competency has been achieved. So assessment and judgment on quality of evidence in order to conclude whether the trainee achieved the learning objectives or not. So as I've said, even though that the work-based learning is conducted outside the school, so please take note that it is part of our curriculum. So meaning, after the duration of the SIT, for example, there must really be achieved learning outcome or competencies based on this training plan. So you need to undergo assessment. So if you remember, you have been graded by your respective staff, no? Supervisor, etc. So which reflects the evaluation based on your performance. And the last one is the date and time, which is the schedule of the training. Okay, so those are the components of the training plan. Here are the steps in preparing the training plan. So please listen. So later on, you will be doing this on your own. Okay, so for these steps, you need to have the TNA results which you have performed last activity. First one is to identify the trainee's training requirement. So for this time, kindly use your TNA forms, particularly refer to the TNA form 4.1 to 4.3. So as you can see in my example, we have here the form 1.3, which gives us the training needs. So if you remember, I have given you my sample qualification, which is the electronic product assembly and servicing. So for example, in my result, I have identified based from a TNA one learning outcome under this unit of competency, which is the assembling electronic products. So if you're going to notice, with this presentation, I'm just going to use one particular example so that we can compress the uh, duration of the presentation. But in your case, if ilan po yung na-gather natin or na-identify na learning outcomes and module title or competencies, so you need to cover everything. No? So anyway, the process is the same. The only thing is you need to uh, identify all of the learning outcomes and the module of instructions. Okay. Step number 2, sequence the training modules in a logical order so that each element of the job is learned. So, alam na natin to, no? So, kung paano po yung arrangement from the TR, yun lang din po ang susundan nating arrangement papunta sa training plan. So, as you can see, on the left side of your screen is the training regulation and on the other side is the training plan. So, of course, you need to locate, no? Hanapin po dyan sa TR natin yung core competency. So, since based from my example, I have just identified one unit of competency and one learning outcome. So hanapin lang po natin yung assemble electronic products. So just copy it here. Okay. And then under the elements or the learning outcomes, prepare to assemble electronic products. So andito po siya. Okay, so meron na tayong trainees training requirement. Take note ha, that for the trainees training requirement, so it is based coming from the TNA 1.3. So if you have another unit of competencies identified based from your TNA, you just add additional table here, no? So para ma-insert po natin siya. So that is step number 2. Step number 3, identify the training activity or task that the trainee would perform to learn the training requirement. So based on the previous slides, so our goal why we have this training plan is to address these training gaps that after they attend this particular training, they will have the necessary knowledge, skills, and attitudes for this particular learning outcome under this unit of competency. So you need to formulate what possible activities should you implement or execute in order for the trainee to learn this learning outcome. Okay, so in my case, under the prepare to assemble electronic products, so here are the activities that the trainee needs to perform. Prepare assembly workplace in accordance with OHS policies and procedures. Follow established risk control measures for work. Obtain and clarify work instructions based on job order or client requirements. Consult responsible person for effective and proper work coordination. Prepare and check required materials, tools, and equipment in accordance with established procedures. Identify, prepare, and obtain components needed to complete the work according to requirements. Okay, so those are the training activity or task, in my case, that the particular trainee needs to perform in order to learn this learning outcome. So in order to give you an idea on what particular training activity should you employ or give to your specific trainee, so you can also refer from your TR, okay, under the core competencies. So please take note that I have been using the unit of competency assemble electronic products and the learning outcome one, which is my identified training requirement. Okay, so look for the performance criteria. So as you can see, we have here the element or the learning outcome, and then the other side is the performance criteria. You can just simply copy, no, this identified performance criteria, okay, and then just rephrase it. So for example, from the training regulation, number one performance criteria that must be obtained by your trainee in order to learn this learning outcome is assembly workplace is prepared in accordance with OHS policies and procedures. You can just simply rephrase it to become an activity wherein from that particular phrase into prepare assembly workplace in accordance with OHS policies and procedures. So ganun lang po. You can also do the same. Another example is from established risk control measures for work preparation are followed. So, i-convert natin siya to become an activity. So, we'll have follow established risk and control measures for work. So, in other words, kung ilan po yung andito nating performance criteria, just place it also under the training activity or task, but see to it that you're going to rephrase it. Okay? And under the training activity task. Okay, so refer to the performance criteria for training activity and rephrase the statements. So that's the step number 2. So we are done with the trainees training requirements, training activity tasks. Next one is you need to identify the medium to be used to deliver the training or to facilitate the learning. So take note that in order to learn, no, for this particular trainee, in order to learn this learning outcome and to learn or do or perform this specified or identified training activity task, you need also to specify what will be the methodology to be employed, or in other words, the mode of training. So at this time, you need to incorporate the learning style or learning characteristics which you identified based on your TNA. Okay, so in other words, guys, if you have 5 respondents, you need to prepare 5 different training plans, considering the differences of their trainees' training requirement, the activity task, and their chosen or preferred mode of training. So, meron tayong visual, kinesthetic, etc. So, in my case, I assume that this particular trainee is a visual learner. No? So that's why instructional videos on ways to organize the workspace, handle materials, and follow safety protocols. So you just formulate what particular methodology, ano ba yung kailangan mong ibigay sa training natin para matutunan niya tong task na to or magawa niya to, considering his or her learning style or preference. So I have chosen instructional video. Okay? For the second activity, hands-on safety drills on risk control, measures, handle tools, wear PPE, and respond to simulated hazards in a controlled environment. So, may mga keywords lang po tayo dyan which will identify kung anong learning style ng mga trainee na ito. Instructional videos, so this is more on visual. Hands-on safety drills, this is more on kinesthetic, which they prefer yung mga practical na mga activities. Okay? So therefore, itong training na to na ginagawan ko ngayon is a combination of a visual and kinesthetic. And after which, you need also to identify based on the different types of work-based learning, what applicable type of work-based training will you employ in order to learn this learning outcome. So we have dual training system, we have supervised industry training, we have apprenticeship, etc. So kayo na po bahala mag-formulate, no, or identify, just consider their application. So ano ba ang dual training system? So this is already an application of your learnings based from the previous lessons. Okay, so we are done with the mode of training. To give you an idea, in order to identify the modes of training. So here are the characteristics. So for visual learners, so you can consider these things. Use visual aids such as diagrams, charts, videos, PowerPoint presentations, and infographics. Provide opportunities for learners to visualize concepts through demonstrations, simulations, or mind mapping tools. So you can also consider for the kinesthetic learners, so as I mentioned a while ago, so they prefer hands-on activities, role-playing, simulations, and practical exercises. For the auditory, we have lectures, group discussions, podcasts, and verbal instructions. For the activists, they learn best by doing and being actively involved. So you can incorporate group work, hands-on projects, simulations, brainstorming sessions, and problem-solving activities. So pwede nyo itong maging guide, no, in formulating your own modes of training based from your identified learners, based from your TNA. We also have reflector learners. They learn by observing and thinking about different perspectives. So you can provide observation, demonstration, analyze case studies, engage in thoughtful discussions, etc. No? Theorist learners, they prefer structured learning and logic-based methods. You can use model theories, framework during your training session. And for the pragmatists, they prefer practical or real-world application of knowledge. Okay, so I have included this one here so that you will have a guide in formulating your methodologies based from your training needs analysis. Number 5 is identify the person who will be involved in the training. So this is very easy, ano? So in my case, since I am in electronics, the qualification in electronics, I identified Richard Banyares as the chief technician or supervisor. So meaning, siya po yung magiging in charge para po matutunan to ng mga students natin or trainees natin or particular trainee natin. Okay? So just see to it that the designation or the position which you will be identifying under the staff is really applicable with your chosen qualification. Okay? So that is step number 5. Remember, please identify a name. So, kayo nang bahala dyan. Pwede kayong mag-invento dyan ng name. Importante, you need to identify a name for under this staff. Under the staff, you need also to identify the facilities, tools, and equipment needed. Of course, since we will focusing more on the practical applications or practical training session, so we need the support of these facilities, tools, and equipment. So you can just simply refer to your training regulation. So under the particular core competency, hanapin lang po ha. So once you scan your training regulation, for example, under assemble electronic products, so browse nyo lang, hanapin yung range of variables and look for the materials, tools, and equipment. So you just simply copy everything and place it dito sa facilities, tools, and equipment. So meaning, these identified tools, facilities, and equipment ay mga needed natin para matutunan ng training itong mga activities and most especially this particular learning outcome. Okay, so that is step number 6. Step number 7, identify the venue of the training. So pares kanina, yung sa staff natin, just see to it that the designation is really appropriate with your chosen qualification. Likewise, in the venue. So since I am in electronic servicing, so I have here provided as example for my venue is the Lamcor Electronics Corporation. Okay? So, bahala na din po kayo dyan maglagay kung anong venue. Basta po appropriate siya dito sa qualification natin. Okay po? So, that is number 7. Okay, so for number 8, identify assessment method to evaluate the competency that needs to be achieved by the training. So, you will be using again your TR, look for the evidence guide. So, of course, please be reminded that this particular table is under the specific unit of competency. So, i-browse lang po yung training regulation natin. So, hanapin yung particular na learning or unit of competency. Hanapin po sa baba niya is the evidence guide. Okay? And hanapin yung method of assessment. So, just copy yung mga nakalagay dito. So, in my case, doon sa unit of competency 1 ko, which is the assemble electronic products. So I have here practical demonstration with oral questioning, interview, and portfolio. So kokopyahin lang natin yan. So as you can see, from the TR, so dito ko na siya nilagay. Under the assessment method. Practical demonstration with oral questioning, interview, and portfolio. Just be careful that double check whether what you are looking at is really under that particular unit of competency. Kasi minsan iba-iba din po yung mga specifications dyan based from your unit of competency. So double check. No? So tingnan ng mabuti yung mga training regulations before we get or copy from the TR papunta dito sa training plan. Step is number 8, schedule of the training, which you need to identify the date and time. Of course, you need to refer to your TR, training regulation, so that you can specify on how many days, how many hours will you allocate in order to learn this particular learning outcomes. So you may divide the allocated total number of hours with the number of learning outcomes based on the required learning outcomes. So for example, in electronic product assembly, so based from the TR, the core competencies has a nominal duration of 140 hours. So as you can notice, we have three core competencies, and it so happened that they have five learning outcomes for each of the learning competencies or unit of competencies. This is one of the methods, so you can just simply divide 140 divided by 15. So since we have 15, 5, 10, 15. So meaning each of these learning outcomes will be having 9.33 hours. So ito yung oras na pwede nating i-allocate para sa kanya-kanyang learning outcomes. So you can also do the same, no? So the other method naman is if you have the CBC or the competency-based curriculum where the specific number of hours is already identified. So it's your own choice whether what particular uh, option will you choose. Anyway, since you are the developer of this training plan, you have the option. What is important there is you need to identify the schedule. Okay, so the date and the time. Okay, so that is step number 8. Okay, so once you have accomplished everything, it should look like this. So kindly just take note that in my example in this presentation, I have just identified one unit of competency and one learning outcome. So most probably in your case, medyo magiging mahaba po yung content ng ating training plans because most of us have gathered several learning outcomes or identified several learning outcomes as our training gaps. So please just do the same process. Okay? So, for example, electronic product assembly servicing NC2, the name, as I've said, if they didn't identify their name, you just can simply put respondent or trainee A for the first respondent, the trainer, your name, okay? The nominal duration will depend on the date and time. The total, ano? Since dito po sa akin is isa lang po na learning outcome and these are the activities, so therefore, this is the total number of hours that you will be placing here. So trainees training requirements, please do not forget to identify what particular unit of competencies belong yung na-identify na learning outcome. The training activity task, which will be coming from the training regulation, you just need to paraphrase or rephrase those performance criteria. The mode of the training, so you need to think and incorporate the learning styles on how are you going to teach this particular task or activities. The staff, so just identify a name, no? So the designation, just take note that it must be appropriate with the qualification which you have been presenting. The facilities, tools, equipment, materials, etc. is based from the training regulation under this unit of competency. Hanapin lang, no, sa range of variables natin under the facilities, tools, and equipment. Just be careful, that what you will be uh, copying or getting the details will really from the particular unit of competencies which you have been identified. The venue, so it's up to you on what particular where venue or the location of the work-based training. Of course, the assessment method is from the evidence guide based from the training regulation under this unit of competencies. And the date and time, you just simply compute from the total number of hours allocated for the core competencies. So please be careful also in identifying the date and time. So that will be the actual time which you will be allocating, no, in order to teach, learn, and assess this particular learning outcome. No? So that is 9.33 hours. So don't forget to write your name as the trainer. So kung ano po yung pangalan nyo, kayo po dito ha. The administrator, we just simply use the name na lang of our Dean, Patrick Gerard A. Paulino. And the owner, depending on the venue which you have been identified, just also place here, no, kung sinong pangalan natin dyan. Okay, so just double check and follow the instructions given based from this presentation in order for you to come up with a correct and appropriate training plan, considering the identified learning outcomes from your TNA. So aside from the training plan, the format which I've been shared with you, in other institutions, trainers use other forms. Okay, as long as it would contain the information needed. So, may mga different institutions na may mga ginagawang modifications, but those basic components are really needed to be included. Okay? So, in case that the training would be conducted outside the training center, for example, if OJT, Dual Training System, or SIT, the training plan must be discussed with the employer or industry trainers so as not to hamper the production of the company, of course, no? So, based from our previous lessons, together with the MOA MOU, so you cannot implement the training plan, you cannot implement the workplace training without first having a consultation and agreement between the institution and the industry partner. So take note, we see to it that we do not hamper or disturb, no, or interfere with the operation of our partner industry. Okay? So that is in practical application. Your task sheet, which will be part of your midterm examination together with your TNA. So using the list of identified trainees training requirement, so which will form part the output of your TNA forms, prepare the training plan. Okay, following the different procedures I've presented with you from the previous slides. Okay, so good luck everyone. So you can just simply rewind or replay this video presentation so that you will be guided in the development of your training plan. So thank you so much for listening for this lesson, training plan, and I hope that you have learned something from this session. Good luck, everyone. And for questions or queries, kindly just post it in our respective chat groups later on. So I will be announcing the submission of this training plan via our chat group, and your outputs will be or must be submitted in our Google Classroom. Once again, thank you so much. Good luck to everyone. Thank you.